All right. What I'd really like to know is, in education, so much we say that nothing matters if the kids aren't learning or if it doesn't, end up showing student growth over time or some type of student learning or student outcome. So, in terms of the focus of your work and what you're doing now, where the rubber hits the road, are the kids learning? Is it making a difference in the way that the way that you see them as literate, or in their ability to embrace literacy and to utilize literacy in their day-to-day learning?
What we're finding, I've been coaching in two Division 4 science classes, and anytime we are introducing a strategy that has been suggested by the teacher because she feels that the students are lacking in one literacy area or another, when we introduce the strategy to the students, we let them know that this is for you. The purpose of this strategy is to help you become literate in this way. And we need your honest feedback. So if it's not working for you, we need to know why it's not working. Or if it is, we need to know why it is working for you. And for example, I was working in Biology 20 last semester, and we tried a strategy where the students were reading with purpose the chapters the night before, and then they would come back the next day with a question formed for a formative assessment that would happen at the beginning of class, kind of as a review. And after doing this several times, which of course things don't become habit unless you've practiced it many, many times. So we did it over the semester when the students were giving me feedback. One student came up to me and he says, "I'm giving you good feedback." I said, "Well, it's not necessarily good feedback that I want." I said, "I want honest feedback." And he says, no, it's good and honest. It's like, okay, that's great. And when reading through their feedback, they honestly told me that by using that strategy where they were reading with purpose the night before, they were reading the chapters, coming to class the next day, forming a question, and then answering that question, it truly did help them improve their work habits in class, as well as understand the content better. So the students truly have a stake in the work that we're doing in their classrooms.
But it's not enough for us just to look at that feedback too. Building on what Denise was saying, I did that written conversation Mike was talking about in a Div 4 social class. And one of the students said to me after, like, "Oh, that was so helpful." And I thought, fantastic. There's that engagement piece. Like, she found it very useful. She will do it again, probably. But then it's going into their artifacts and making sure that we're seeing a progression in their learning. So, analyzing that data too to see if it does correspond to the feedback that the students were giving.
Yeah, I've been through a process working with, like I mentioned, for a particular strategy that the teacher wanted to focus on was this idea that in Div 4 sciences, students actually should be using their textbook because the textbook is a valuable resource in that particular area. So our strategy revolved around getting students to pre-read a section of their textbook the night before class to see if it would make a difference when they come into class the next day. I'm just going to pull up a file here in front of me. This is from Brad's Chemistry 30 class, and just a couple comments from students that they said after surveying them about the strategy. One student said, "I feel like previewing gave me my own personal understanding of the lesson beforehand, thus making it more memorable." And another student said, "It allowed me to treat in-class work more as a review or affirmation of the content since it wasn't the first time we'd seen it." So that kind of information coming to us directly from the students really tells us that we're on track. And even the comments that aren't as positive, we probably get even more information out of those than the kids who say, "Yeah, great job, continue." But those students who say, "You know what, I'm seeing a problem in this particular area. For me, this isn't working," that empowers a really reflective discussion with the different teachers that we work with. So a valuable process, something I think when I go back to the classroom, I want to continue.
I'm really curious in terms of the delivery models you're using, especially in this cycle. How has it reached beyond just the teachers and the work that you guys are growing as professionals, like you've described, and the teachers that you're working at with and the students that you're impacting? Has it started to impact the district? Are you seeing changes in professional development or in professional learning or any kind of impact beyond your local context?
Yes, the work that we are doing with teachers, and because it's so new, we thought, well, we need to share this out because we're finding great things and strategies that are very successful for students and teachers in their classroom. And so we have started a blog that's on our AISI webpage in Black Gold. So we share out tried and true strategies that have been working in classrooms with teacher and student testimonials within them. So we're sharing that out. We try to tweet, and then we also share at AISI conferences, at provincial conferences. We've done many presentations. We write articles, which we were intending on doing that this year. We'll kind of see what happens. And within our own division, we present facilitated cohorts where we share the research and we help them work through that research, and hopefully they will implement it within their classroom. So that is our intent within our division.
So actually it was last week, I received an email from a coach at another division in Alberta. And he had a teacher he was working with who'd come across some of our work that we've done with Bio 30 and academic vocabulary. And so he emailed me and said, hey, Terra, we came across this and we're really curious about what else you guys are up to with this academic vocabulary piece. And so, I mentioned to him what Mike was up to in Social Studies 8 with the similar idea. And so as a result, Mike and I are actually going to do a Google Hangout with this learning coach on Monday, just to talk about the whole idea of academic vocabulary and different ideas and what he's up to with his teachers as well, so we can get some ideas from him. So I'm really excited about that.
You mentioned maybe, I don't know if we touched on this yet, but there is an important component of our delivery model that I think is worth mentioning here. We are all fully seconded teachers. And we're not attached to a school. We've run across a lot of different versions of instructional coaching as we meet different AISI projects, and many of those are a part-time coach. So you're attached to a building, but you're also a coach for, say, 4 or 5 other buildings. That particular model is fraught with going to be a part-time teacher and a part-time coach. And I'm coaching my own staff. There's some inherent political situations you may get yourself into when you enter a staff as a staff member, then working with them as a coach. It's a much different situation to be a full-time seconded coach and to be able to go into a building completely free of the social situations going on in the building. We're also very free of administrator oversight. We value the relationship that we have with the teachers that we're working with, and it's a confidential relationship unless there are pieces that teacher wishes to share out. So that's an important part that I don't know if anybody else wants to mention that, but that has been integral to the work and how we've delivered the work that we've done. I think that teachers have felt freer and they're trusting that what we're working on and shortcomings that may come out of a lesson or something don't reflect on them personally as an educator, but rather as part of that learning process that we all go through.
It seems like trust would be a really important part of that. So it's been absolutely fascinating listening to all of you describe your work and how you've grown and how the kids have grown and the special relationship and how that connected kind of learning, that collaborative, that co-creation of creating literacy and strengthening literacy in the classroom has played out. I'm really curious if you were to give us, a summation kind of thought, if there was something that you wanted to say to people who are watching this and to kind of help them to understand a little bit more deeply, maybe something you haven't shared, what would you tell us? We'll start with you, Denise.
I think this research project and the work that we were so fortunate to be engaged with in this cycle has been powerful for us as coaches. It's challenged us throughout this whole process, and it has helped me become a stronger coach because we've had to go into deep coaching and asking hard questions of teachers, and always walking that delicate line where you don't want to push the teacher too far, but you're pushing them just far enough. And it has been a powerful experience.
I think the most powerful experience for me in this cycle has really been our commitment to the action research model. Never before have I spent so much time with students in classrooms gathering data that changes what we do the next day. Literally, the teacher and I reflect together and decide, okay, we had planned this, but now we've got to move to plan B because we've discovered, maybe some students aren't, at the place where we thought they were, or students have got it and they're ready to move beyond. And I think it's just been that process of action research, that intent look at data to change our actions the next day. I think that's been a real powerful takeaway for me.
I'd have to say for me, being a part of a team has been the most powerful part of this process. Opening up possibilities to where you can go in education and what you can do. The idea that a teacher is not a teacher in their own classroom, but really they're a teacher in the building, and that we are a community of learners, and we can challenge ourselves and grow exponentially. And I've seen it. I've seen the power of it. I've seen the power of it from a grade 1 classroom all the way through to grade 12 kids, that when we put our mind to it, to truly challenge where we go and how we think about teaching, the results can surprise and overwhelm us. That's really what I've taken from this.
And I think building on what Steve said about team, this AISI process for me has brought to light the power of collaboration and how important that is at all different levels. We've always believed that we are publicly funded, and so everything we do needs to be shared publicly in some capacity, however we can do that. And now with AISI not being around anymore, I think that not only the people who are involved in it, but the other teachers, we need to realize that collaboration is the key to all of this, to making these improvements in student learning, to looking at this data. It's all about doing it side by side. And so I hope that that part of the heart of AISI will still continue beyond the project itself.
I'm excited that there are strategies and there are skills that my colleagues are talking about that I can take out to spread to other teachers and to other schools within the district. And sharing best practices is the only way that we're going to move the education agenda forward. It's upsetting that I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm hopeful that leaders in the educational community, which I hope we're all going to still continue to be, but really push that agenda forward. We have to go nowhere but forward. And the best way to do that is taking research-based practices, getting them out into the classes, seeing whether or not they're working in our context, and adapting and moving and building and growing as a district. So I'm excited to see where it's going to go, and I'm really hopeful, and I'm really upset that AISI is not going to be a part of it.
I got to tell you, thank you so much. I learned so much by being with you, and I look forward to, as you transparently share and what you're learning and how you're learning it, to be able to learn from you as you do that. So good luck. Continue the rest of your work. Keep your chin up. Let's move forward. And thank you so much for being so willing to share your time with me today. And we'll see you guys online. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Bye-bye. Thank you.